I think the conversation around is the clinic ready for DTX is a really valuable point for the industry. Over the years, we've evolved through regulatory pathways, go-to-market and reimbursement access. And now we're in a position where digital therapeutics fit in the clinical care continuum is becoming vitally important. We have to understand how clinicians engage with digital therapeutics companies, how we take away the heavy lift and show them the benefits for their patients, and most importantly, how we create a system whereby the patient is central as a partner in their own care, engaging with their clinician or healthcare professional in a way that gives them real value, brings insights to the clinician, and most importantly, enables a more continuous flow of care between patient, clinician, and healthcare system. We've seen with things like the DiGA in Germany, where the pathway is there for digital therapeutics products to be reimbursed, but uptake can be a challenge. And so getting clinicians on board with prescribing digital therapeutics, building the knowledge level of clinicians so that they're comfortable with digital therapeutics as a tool and prescribing them to their patients is a key challenge, which many have yet to crack, but some are starting to overcome. And that's why I think it's an exciting time for that particular topic to be discussed in the industry and for digital therapeutics companies to learn from others who have had success in how we broach this gap between technology, patient, and clinician. For those who have had success, and we've seen some great leaders in the industry like Kaya Health as an example, who've got their DiGA product approved and have had success with clinicians prescribing digital therapeutic solutions. They've done an excellent job in educating and onboarding clinicians in a way that limits the burden on the healthcare professional, clearly highlights the ease of prescription and the benefit to the patient. And I think that's most important, really showing the clinician the benefit that their patients who come in expecting the highest standard of care, as they should, can receive from digital therapeutics. And so with clinicians on board in that way, you start to get a symbiotic relationship where not only are clinicians prescribing and recommending digital solutions to patients, but patients are adopting a word of mouth approach to feed this back to other clinicians, to other patients. And from that, you start to get a really collective mentality to the benefits of a digital solution, how it can reduce the burden on healthcare professionals. And I think Kaya have done that exceptionally well with their local market knowledge in the German region, with their approved DiGA. And I think others will follow suit, especially as we see similar pathways emerging in the likes of France, Belgium, Austria. When it comes to digitally enabled care in the NHS, I think there's a huge opportunity. It's well publicised and absolutely well known that post-COVID, the NHS is struggling with burnout, with retaining staff, and with providing the highest standard of care possible to patients. This is through no fault of the healthcare professionals on the ground. I firmly believe it's a systemic challenge that we're all facing across all health systems, but in particular the NHS. What's really encouraging to see is the adoption of digital solutions and the push from the likes of NHS England, NHS Digital, to onboard digital health. Even in Scotland, as an example, where Big Health have made massive strides in getting their products approved and reimbursed, it makes a great pathway forward for digital solutions to partner with the NHS. Of course, there are challenges with any healthcare system, and NHS is unique in its own makeup in terms of how fragmented the approach can be. We've heard reports from numerous digital health and therapeutics companies that tackling the NHS is a long haul. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And so building traction in localized areas, building traction with key opinion leaders and proving not only the clinical benefit, but the health economic benefit of the product, I think is really going to be the challenge in NHS, because it has to be replicated numerous times before it kind of centralizes into one approved solution. However, the NHS are making really positive strides to bring this on board. Just last week, there was another announcement of a multi-million investment in the digital ecosystem from the NHS, and I think this is only a good thing. And I think it's now on the digital therapeutics industry to really show the path, to tick all the boxes, to pave the road to full approval so that others can follow. I think the main hill that DTX as an industry has to climb is harmonization. When we look at markets such as the European space and the US, which is obviously a huge and appealing market to almost all digital therapeutics companies, it's very fragmented in terms of how we approach regulatory, in terms of how we approach reimbursement, and in terms of how we approach go-to-market. Now, there have been some amazing work done by the likes of the Digital Therapeutics Alliance to try and centralize everything from the definition of what is a digital therapeutic, which creates the foundation for how governments can actually approve and reimburse them, to actually the harmonization of the regulatory aspects of a digital health solution, and of course the reimbursement and go-to-market. I think that harmonization is the key. We see DIGA in Germany, French reimbursement, Digital Therapeutics Alliance doing a lot of work on prescription digital therapeutics on Capitol Hill in the US. And so when we can centralize what a digital therapeutic actually is, how we evaluate it, how we approve it, and how we pay for it, I think that's where we build real traction at scale. The next step or hill that comes in that is the question of how do we then go to market? How do we penetrate at a level that we've seen with pharma as an example? And the natural progression seems to be a partnership between a digital therapeutics company and pharma to bring that scale. However, I do truly feel that if we enable a pathway for digital therapeutics to be categorized, regulated, approved, and reimbursed smoothly, which is the challenge, digital therapeutics themselves could actually accelerate beyond pharma because we can build that scalability with a product that's software driven, easy to scale, easy to deliver to patients, and most importantly, brings real clinical and economic benefit. So I think harmonization is the first challenge, scalability in the market is the second challenge. And when we overcome both of those, I see no reason why the digital therapeutics industry couldn't be in and of itself a larger industry than the pharmaceuticals, for example.